First commandment, thou shalt not have any other gods before me. Second commandment, thou shalt not commit adultery. In other words, make images by which you will worship God. Third commandment, you're not allowed to take the Lord's name in vain. Fourth commandment, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Fifth commandment, honor your mother and your father. Commandment number 6, thou shalt not commit murder. Commandment number 7, if I didn't get those flipped, thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not steal. No, it's thou shalt not commit. Don't commit murder. Don't commit adultery, and then thou shalt not steal. That's commandment number 8. So, Biden, yes, the illustrious President Biden, had a plan A for getting reelected. I know. If I forgive student loans, the people will vote for me. Supreme Court, nah, I don't think so. I don't think we're going to let you forgive student loans. Nah, we're gonna shoot this one down. Ah, bummer. Well, guess we got to go to Plan B, Biden says. Plan B. I know. We'll forgive student loans. Here's the story out of the Gateway Pundit. Defiant Biden regime forgives student loans to hundreds of thousands of borrowers comes 2 weeks after Supreme Court ruling. You can't make this stuff up, folks. By the way, if this ever did really happen, which I don't think he's going to be successful with this, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Guess who is the victim of the theft that occurs against the commandment that you're not supposed to steal from other people if student loan forgiveness does happen? Guess who is being stolen from? You and me, the taxpayer. It's a violation of the commandment that God gave us, thou shalt not steal. Let me read you the story, and we'll have comments along the way. The Biden Education Department. It's the Biden Education Department? I thought it was the Department of Education of the United States. Government apparently does not belong to we the people any longer. Apparently now it belongs to Biden. And they get mad when people call him a dictator. The Biden Education Department announced it would automatically forgive student loans to hundreds of thousands of followers, despite a Supreme Court ruling striking down another student loan scheme just 2 weeks ago. Count them. 1, 2. As reported by ABC News, Education Department officials, now ABC, you better get it right. It's not Education Department. It's Biden Education Department. You guys, Anyway, Education Department officials announced Friday that, okay, I'm reading it the way it's written, folks. Don't blame me, okay? As reported by ABC News, Education Department officials announced Friday that are forgiving the debts of 804,000 borrowers. 804,000. To supposedly fix what they called, you ready? You ready for this? Administrative errors. Oh, I'm sorry. No, administrative failures. Administrative failures. Man, they're good at coming up with this propaganda stuff. As reported by ABC, no, so let me go back. Let me go back down here. Okay. These borrowers are individuals who have been paying their loans back. They've been paying their loans back through income-driven repayment plans. Really? So there's different plans by which you can pay your loans back, huh? I thought you just wrote out a check and said, here's my monthly payment. This allows debts to be forgiven once they've been paid for 20 or 25 years. So apparently from what this article is saying, you got to be paying for 20 to 25 years before you can get your loan forgiven. So we're going to narrow that window just a little bit there. But no, the news media put it out that we're forgiving student loans. Nobody will look into the details. We'll get some votes then. Education Secretary Miguel Cardona said in a statement these borrowers would be getting the forgiveness they deserve. Now, wait a minute. Let me understand this. Let's make this clear here. They borrowed the money to pay for their education. Okay? That means they have an obligation to pay that money back. And in our current financial system, it's usually with interest, right? Because, yeah, you don't make money unless it's with interest. But somehow the students that borrowed this money deserve forgiveness for their loan. Now, forgiveness indicates you've done something wrong. I'm sorry, what? Did they commit a crime in the borrowing of that money or something? Why do they call it forgiveness? Why not just say, we're not going to require you to pay it anymore? Right? It would be suspension's not the word. Loan expiration. How's that? Or loan expunging. Loan expungement. That would be a better term. Loan expungement. Forgiveness? Loan forgiveness. Doesn't that sound like somebody did something wrong? Well, you broke the law taking that loan, but you know what? We're going to forgive you for that. Who comes up with this terminology today that we have today? I mean, if everybody's coming up with this new terminology, then, hey, my firearm that I have in the house is it's a long-distance hole puncher. That's what it is. That's the new terminology. Oh my goodness. Anyway, it just demonstrates the heavy emphasis upon deception. Well, they deserve forgiveness. Okay, what this does is this sets up a narrative, folks, when they say it that way. What it does is say, oh, well, you don't believe that these students deserve to be out from under these loans. You're just a bigot. You're just evil. You're mean. You're a very mean, nasty person if you don't believe that they deserve forgiveness. I mean, they worked hard to get through school. I mean, they've been good citizens. They deserve to be out from under these loans. Look, I didn't take out the loans. I haven't had a student loan a day in my life, folks. I've never taken out a student loan. But according to this, I'm going to have to pay their student loans through my tax dollars. It's called theft. It's against God's laws. Now, I know about the year Jubilee, okay? where every 7 years the debts were forgiven in Israel. Okay, that's a biblical principle, but that was not selective. That wasn't, okay, if you meet this criteria, there's a few of you that can be forgiven or of your debts, or a few of you that your debts will be expunged, would be a better way of saying it. But the rest of you, you're not forgiven. You're not expunged. You got to go ahead and pay it. That was not Jubilee. Jubilee was across the board for everybody. And it was, the reason for Jubilee was to reset the national economic welfare and benefit of Israel. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Those were all private loans. Taxpayers were not put on the hook to pay those loans in the year of Jubilee. That would have been a violation of God's commandment. All right. Now, just dispel that one. Now listen to the heavy use of propaganda here. It's about to hit you hot and heavy. Here it comes. For far too long, borrowers fell through the cracks of a broken system that failed to keep accurate track of their progress towards forgiveness. I thought it would be progress toward the paying off of their loans. What's this forgiveness language? It's propaganda language, folks. It's propaganda language. By fixing past administrative failures, they don't tell what that is. It's just a generic term to get people into a certain mindset. It's a propaganda term. Past administrative failures. We are ensuring everyone gets the forgiveness they deserve. See, they deserve it. Another propaganda phrase. They deserve it. Now, how long is it going to be before, well, you know, we got to give these people reparations because they deserve it. It starts here and it progresses. And it gets worse and worse and worse. And people become victimized off of this kind of propaganda. Just as we have done for public servants, students who were cheated by their colleges, and borrowers with permanent disabilities, including veterans. Now, wait a minute. Cheated by their colleges and universities? By their colleges and borrowers? How were they cheated? They chose to take out the loans. You take out a loan, you're responsible to pay it back. You take out a loan, it's with the agreement that you're going to pay that money back. So how were they cheated? It's nonsense. It's propaganda language. Sorry, low battery again, even though I had it plugged in before. All right. Fixing these past mistakes will come at a cost to taxpayers. Absolutely. The DOE notes these fixes the Department of Education, the Biden Department of Education notes these past administration failures will total $39 billion. So, American taxpayer, just reach into your wallet and pull out $39 billion and pay it to Uncle Sam, because he needs it to pay off those loans that the people who took out the loans didn't pay. These 408,000 borrowers will be notified on Friday by the Department of Education. The Biden Department of Education, and relief will begin 30 days later. Individuals who do not want debts discharged are encouraged to contact, this is poorly written, I'm sorry, are encouraged to, it should be to contact their loan service providers. This plan is part of previous fixes to other programs the regime believes are failing borrowers. I scratched my head earlier because this new plan is part of previous fixes to other programs the regime believes were failing borrowers. That's not the part. Individuals who do not want debts discharged. Who doesn't want their debt discharged? Who would not want their debt discharged? I mean, seriously? I'm sure they got, 100 people ready to take calls from people who don't want their debts discharged. Right. Okay, so anyway. This new plan is part of previous fixes. We've read that. All right. ABC News notes that this includes $45 billion to people enrolled in public service loan forgiveness who weren't getting the debt relief. In other words, we're not going to make you responsible to pay back the money that you borrowed. If you don't want that debt, don't borrow the money. It's that simple. But how am I supposed to get my degree? Scholarships? Work while going to school and pay it as you go? But college is so expensive. Then go to trade school. Pick up a trade. Make $100,000 a year doing a trade. And then save up a bunch of money, and if you want to go to college after that, pay for it. I don't recommend student loans. They're horrible. And they end up in this. People who can't pay their loans. They're ruining people's lives. But there's more. Oh, we're not done. ABC News notes that this includes $45 billion to people enrolled in public service loan forgiveness who weren't getting the debt relief, and $22 billion to borrowers who were defrauded by for-profit colleges. Propaganda point. We need to demonize for-profit colleges because, a lot of those are Christian colleges and religious colleges, and we can't allow that. So we need to demonize them in any fashion that we can so that we can begin to take them down. The move by the Education Department is quite audacious considering the Supreme Court struck down Joe Biden's lawless program to cancel debt relief back in June. So, here we go. As Gateway Pundit readers know, this program would have canceled $10,000 worth of loans for most student borrowers and $20,000 for Pell Grant recipients. There's no word yet on whether Biden's newest student loan there's no word yet on whether Biden's newest student loan debt relief scheme will be challenged in the court system. Oh, I guarantee you it will, because the student loan, you think the student loan companies or the loan companies are giving out these student loans are just going to say, oh yeah, we'll just let that one go. No, they're going to challenge it like they did the last time. And Biden will probably lose in court once again. But it's just a mentality of, I got to do something to make people happy so they'll vote for me, number one. And number two, I got to demonize these Christian colleges because, go to private colleges because, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, what we've told them they need to be doing, and that is worshiping paganism. Because the official state religion now of the United States is paganism, and you Christian people, you're not doing it. We're going to get you. That's the mentality, folks. And we don't want to make people responsible for their actions. Oh no, why would we ever want to do that? Got one more for you. This one's kind of good. MSM links exercise, like I was doing this morning. I did a 5K this morning in CrossFit, 5K run. It links exercise to white supremacy. Yep, you heard me right, folks. This week's top stories are full of insane claims. Emergency military deployments. I think it was 10,000 National Guard troops being sent to Europe. And more drugs in the White House. HB must be busy. But are you surprised in Joe Biden's America? Elijah Schaffer breaks it all down. And so here he goes. It's 2023 and MSNBC is trying to link healthy bodies to literal white supremacy. If you exercise, you're a little Nazi. You're a little fascist if you exercise and take care of your body. You horrible Nazi, you. You white supremacist. One guy commented and he said, yeah. He goes, I was doing push-ups this morning and suddenly, mysteriously, the swastika just embedded itself into my chest. So now I'm laying down eating chips and watching sitcoms just to try to get it to go away. Oh, so what's this about? Why would they link exercise with white supremacy? The reason is because they don't want you healthy. I'll say it again. They don't want you healthy. Doggone it, they spent the last 3 years trying to kill you. What the heck are you doing still being healthy and exercises? What's that all about? You are not doing what we globalist oligarchs want you to do. Now you stop that. You stop that exercise or we're going to call you a white supremacist. You stop it. Sit down, eat your chips, and watch your sitcoms and get fat so that we can kill you off. Have to send those mosquitoes out with the diseases to try to, the genetically modified ones. Yeah, those. Yeah, we're gonna get you guys. Send those mosquitoes out and get you sick. Stop taking those supplements. Nope, don't do that. We gotta depopulate the world. Stop it. This is the reason, folks. And you can see how heavy, my Bible's like it's been in an oven. It's so hot out here. How heavy the propaganda is in what they're saying. Pay attention to the propaganda and how they use it, folks. It's really an education in how they operate. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.